Good morning, everyone. My name is Murugan, and today we are going to discuss about how to get started with Microsoft Azure. Our topic of discussion will be cloud computing, Microsoft Azure, Azure websites, and we will be followed up with the demo. The history of cloud computing dates back to 1950s. It became more prevalent in 90s. If you have been to an engineering school during 90s, you would have seen that you would have got access to several dumb terminals and and you would have access to several dumb terminals which are connected to a mainframe or a master machine. Since and at that time it was actually called as time sharing. Since 2000s, the cloud computing started, and cloud computing as a service was started by Amazon in August 2006. In April 2008, Google released its App Engine, and Microsoft Azure was released on Feb 1st, 2010. There are several other cloud providers like Salesforce, Amazon, IBM, as well as we have SAP is also providing their own cloud services. Now let's look at the different definitions for cloud computing. Cloud computing is a computing in which resources are provided as a service. The term cloud computing implies access to remote computing services offered by third party via TCP/IP connection on the public internet. These two definitions are self-explanatory. Now let's look at the third definition. Cloud computing is an on-demand, scalable, multi-tenant, self-service compute resource. On-demand means the compute power is available to you on demand. So today, if you want to create a virtual machine or a couple of virtual machines, you can just go to the portal and spin up a virtual machine. Scalable means today, if you need compute power of only one virtual machine, that is fine. But tomorrow, if you need say 5 more virtual machines, then you can go to the portal again, and you can just spin up 5 virtual machines. You can also automate this process. Scaling up of the number of virtual machines or scaling down also can be done automatically. Multi-tenant means a single computer machine is being shared across different users. This is how the cloud computing can be provided as a cheaper alternative. Self-service means all the plumbing work, that is the hardware, networking. In case of platform as a service, you have the OS patching up, etc., taken care of by Microsoft or your service provider. Now let us look at different scenarios in which cloud computing is useful. One is unpredictable bursting. Second one is predictable bursting. Third one is often on and off and growing fast. Unpredictable bursting is when you don't know when the cloud computing power increases sharply. So let me give you an example of a news channel where they have brought out breaking news. I mean, we don't know, we cannot tell when the breaking news will come, and during this period, the computing needs might shoot up. So probably you are running on 10 virtual machines, and probably you need 100 virtual machines uh, to cater to the need of the users. Then at this time, with cloud computing, you can just increase the number of virtual machines, and automatically it will spin up. Now, the main disadvantage of having your own hosting is you cannot provision the number of machines for this unpredictable bursting, or during the non-necessary time, the computing resources will be wasted. Predictable bursting, I will explain it with a cracker or a firework cracker shop, in which it is seasonal. Say only during Christmas or in New Year time, there is a need for or demand for crackers. So that time, if you're a company that sells fireworks online, during that time you will have a high amount of people who are accessing your machine. That time, so you don't need to provision with cloud computing. You don't need to provision the servers throughout the year. You just need to increase the number of virtual machines during for that particular amount of time. I mean, on and off scenario, I will explain it with a movie studio, like a movie studio that generates, sorry, an animated movie studio where animations and other 3D graphics are done, in which, say, single frame requires at least minimum of 29 and upwards of uh, images to be rendered. So in a movie studio like Avatar, if you have seen, every clip requires several frames, and each frame needs to be rendered. So when the computing needs are required only for a short period of time, when the images needs to be rendered, that is a scenario on and off. It uses the computing power for some time, then they go back to work on other aspects. Then they come back and they compute it. This is the on and off scenario and growing fast. Say we are actually starting with a portal called estock.com. So if the demand for that, if the number of users in the portal grows exponentially, that is an exponential. That time you need to scale up the compute resource with respect to the number of users who are logging in. That is an example of growing fast. Now let us look at the most common cloud computing offerings. One is actually infrastructure as a service, IaaS, platform as a service, and software as a service. Infrastructure as a service is when the service provider takes care of all the hardware, etc. But you have to put your own software, operating system, etc. Platform as a service is when everything is taken care of. You only need to worry about the application that you're building. And software as a service is the one in which the software is built for you. They're like Office 360, and you're just using the software. You're paying for a license and you're using it. That is software as a service. Now let us look at a little bit deeper into what is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. This is actually packaged software. The first one is actually packaged software when you take care of everything. That is actually the networking, storage, servers, virtualization, etc. That means you are running your own data center. You would have to take care of everything, the power supply, the machines, etc. Infrastructure as a service is the offering that the cloud provides, in which the networking, storage, servers, and virtualization are provided by the cloud, Microsoft Azure, and you will have to install your own operating system. You can have your own VXDs, and you can install that on your virtual machine. And of course, all these are done to cater for your applications. In platform as a service, the virtualization, the operating system, middleware, runtime, etc., are all taken care by the cloud provider like Microsoft Azure. Now, the difference between infrastructure and platform is the patches. If there is a new update or patch from Microsoft, you will have to download and install it by yourself in infrastructure as a service. Whereas in platform as a service, everything is taken care of by the service provider. Again, let us compare the platform as a service and infrastructure as a service. The difference between yourself, infrastructure as a service, where you own your home and you have to take care of everything. But platform as a service is like you're staying in a hotel and everything is taken care of by the hotel itself, and you only need to worry about the job you are staying there for. Software as a service, I have already explained. Like Office 360 is software as a service, in which you buy a license and you start using the software. Now I'll quickly run through the different cloud offerings. There are several, lot many, but these are the ones today I'll discuss: the cloud service, virtual machine, website, mobile services, and media services. Today our topic of discussion is only websites. Again, the main components of cloud computing is virtual machines, cloud servers, websites. Now, the most common question that people ask is, what is the difference between virtual machines, cloud servers, websites, and which one to choose? Whether you want to choose a virtual machine, whether you want to use a cloud service, or whether you want to use a website. The answer to that is Cloud services and websites are platform as a service offering from Microsoft Azure, whereas virtual machine is an infrastructure as a service offering from Microsoft Azure. Let me go back 2 slides. The difference is, if you want to worry only about the application here that you're building, you can go for cloud service or website, or if you want to do everything by your own, install the operating system, etc., you can use as an infrastructure as a service. For example, when you would need to use infrastructure as a service, say if you want to have a Linux virtual machine box, then infrastructure as a service is a good option for you. But if you're developing your application in Visual Studio and Microsoft, then for me, my choice will always be either cloud servers or websites. Now, the difference between cloud servers and websites is, in cloud service, you can actually RDP into the virtual machine box, and you can configure everything. But remember one thing, that all cloud servers websites are all built on top of a virtual machine. But websites does not offer you the RDP functionality, remoting function. You cannot remote desktop to a virtual website. Now I'll quickly demonstrate the different things, like creating a Azure website from management portal. Then we'll create the same website using the Visual Studio itself, and I'll actually run you through how to point your custom domain to Azure website. So I'll just start with opening my Visual Studio. I'll just leave it open, and I will log on to the portal. Azure.microsoft.com. I'll click on the portal link. I'll log in using my credentials, my username and password at excelstock.com, and it'll ask for my password again, so I'll just wait for that. Now, Microsoft has bring out a new portal for Microsoft Azure. You can explore that if you're interested, but I'm still using the old portal for this one because I'm more familiar with that. Okay, so I'm just logging into Azure portal. I will just quickly show you the different offerings from Microsoft Azure. Other than websites and virtual machines, websites, cloud servers, and virtual machines, there are so many other options for storage, mobile services, HD Insight, media services, Service Bus, Visual Studio Online. You can check out Visual Studio Online. It's quite interesting, you know. There is actually an Azure Cache, recovery services. Scheduler is something that is actually new. CDN is actually for content delivery network. So if you have a lot of files that if you need your website to be faster, you can actually push your commonly accessed file to the areas that are near to the user. That is what you can use CDNs for. Then you have the Active Directory. It is Azure Active Directory is similar to the Active Directory on the desktop, but is a little bit different. It provides federation services for Facebook and others. Now let me get back to our topic, that is websites. Creating a website is actually pretty easy. I have a couple of websites already created. I'll just go ahead and click on Start New, Compute, Websites. I'll just click on Custom Create. Let me select the URL. Just click on Muruganedi. It is available. Okay, I'll just put it as Muruganedi 1. Okay. My nearest region is Southeast Asia. There is a free option as well as shared option. For now, I'll just click on the free option. I don't need any database, and I'll click on Okay, it will take a couple of seconds to create the websites. I intentionally clicked on free because I want to show you that if you're planning to point your custom domain to Microsoft Azure, that will not be possible to with a free this one. So if I click on the page, I can see the page is already created. Now I would like a custom domain to be pointed to muruganedi1.com. So basically muruganedi1.azurewebsites.net. To point a custom domain, what I need to do is I should click on uh, configure, sorry, I mean scale, and I need to change the instance to a shared, basic, or standard. A shared instance is when a lot of people are using. You don't have your own virtual machine, but you're actually sharing the virtual machine with several users. Basic is when you have your own virtual machine. Standard also is similar to that. So I'll just click on share and I'll click on save. Last time, if you had seen that below the this, it was actually not active. The managed domain was not active. Now, once you have shared is actually a paid option. So once you switch to a paid option, the managed domains will be active. To point a domain, the instructions are clearly given what you need to do. You can actually go to the domain registrants control panel. You need to add an A record with 23.98.64.36, this one, and a name with that, a record with that, and you need to create two DNS records in case you want to point www.azure websites. Sorry, I am www.1.com, and make sure that you end up muruganedi1.com. So you need to have two CNAME records, awverify.www.yourdomain.com to I'll just copy this. For Muruganedi, you would need two. Okay, this will point your www.muruganedi1 Azure, and you need one more CNAME record. It's not mentioned in the documentation, but you need one more. This should be. You can remove this www. Okay. Yeah, I tried this earlier last week, and we had some issues pointing muruganedi1.com to this. That's why I thought I'll show you that. You need two CNAME records to point both www.muruganedi1.com and muruganedi1.com to Azure. So that is about pointing the domain. There is actually a video that I have made earlier to point your domain. Now that your website is working, if you need to FTP your files to Azure, this is actually the host name. This is the username, and I'll tell you where you can actually set up your username for your FTP. Just click on this. It'll ask for your username and password, and I'll tell you where you need to set up. You need to go to create your deployment credentials will be there. In case you have already created, it will be reset your deployment credentials. You can actually click on you can actually enter your username. If you enter Murugan or whatever, the username will change there. Enter your username and password, and you can pick up the username from here, muruganedi1/pixelstroke.com. Because earlier here I have mentioned it as Pixelstroke. I'll just quickly anyway, that is so FTP is also done. Now let's close this thing and let's go to Visual Studio, and we will create the website and publish something to our portal. So I'll start with, I'll just resort the layout. Okay. Now how to create a website from within Visual Studio. Now you can, websites and other services also can be created. I'll click on the Server Explorer. You can see Windows Azure. I would actually expand this to see the list of websites that are already there. I'll click on Create New Virtual Machines. No, sorry. I'll just click on Websites and I'll click on Create New Website. Site name is Muruganedi 2, or I'll just put it as Visual Studio 1. I don't need a database. I would need to select a region. Southeast Asia is nearest to me. So I'll click on Create. I had some problems with the internet, so probably that's the reason why it's taking a bit slow. Yeah, so the website is already created. I think that I can click on View in Browser. Okay, so that is successfully created. Now what I'll do is I will actually create a folder named VS1, and I'll just create a file called index. File new, sorry, file open. I'll open it as a website, VS1. And let me give the tag H1. I'll right click on, to publish the website, you need to go to the project, right click on the project, and you can just click on publish website. I need to select the website, that is existing websites that I have just created. Muruganedi VS1, I'll click on OK. Now it will actually download all the publishing credentials. You can click on next, configuration, debug or release, and I can just click on publish. So it actually should display hello world. That's it. So here it was actually the welcome page. If I click on refresh this, you can see the hello world page. So right now, so what we have done is we have created the Visual project using portal first. I have demonstrated that to you. Then again, we have created the portal in Visual Studio. That again has been demonstrated to you. So the next thing that we would actually do is create a web role and worker role. No, not needed. I think I will actually show you one more thing. That is actually how to create a project, create a website once the project has been started. So I'll start a project now. Sorry. So I'll start with a new project. Let it be web applications, web API project. Now, if you are one thing that I would like to tell about web API authentication is, in case you need authentication on for your project, you can actually click on change authentication here. By default, it it is no authentication. So you can click on change authentication. There are several options that are available. So if you are building something like Facebook or something, similar to a portal like Facebook or something where user manages everything, you can actually create the individual user account. Or if your clients are companies or multi-tenants, then you can actually use organizational account. Then I would actually click on OK. Okay, so this is actually the website. I'm just running a simple website here. Okay, so let me add one button there so that say so let me publish this website to Azure. Publish. I need to select the profile. I would select the same website, and I mean I'll just create a. Anyway, it's the same steps that you had used earlier. So basically, here there is an option to create. If you want to create a website, you can do this here itself. There is an option called New. Okay, there is an option called New, and here what I'm going to do is I'm creating the website here itself. East Asia. I don't need a database, so I'm just creating it. So what happens is it goes to the server, it creates a new website for you as VS2. Then all the profile information is sent back to Visual Studio here, and I can click on publish. And yeah, it's download all the published settings. I can click on publish, and it will be published here. I don't know the reason why. Probably it's because of my connection. Anyway, so basically you can see that the publishing has been done for the previous one. This also will be similar to that. So that is it for today. If you have any questions, you can actually send me a mail, or you can actually uh, join our Facebook group and search for Microsoft Azure for Beginner, and you can actually join our Facebook group. If you have any questions, you can feel to post the questions there. Thank you.